All right, hello everybody. Happy Friday to you all. Just gonna make a stream announcement while we wait for the game here. Today we're playing some Wingspan. Gonna just boot up an arena game. Okay, got ourselves a table. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's take a look first at the ground goals. We've got eggs and wetland, birds with eggs and platform nests, eggs and forest, and eggs and cavity nest. So it's pretty eggy. Our opponent is up first, and they've got the option of the house finch in the tray, which would leave us with the option of the Carolina wren if they took the house finch. So I think our start looks something like this. Do we care about the sparrow? Probably not. I think our start probably looks something like this. And that gives us the option of Carolina wren. As a second forest bird here, and I think we just rely on the ring of gold to draw through whatever else we need. And we'll at least qualify for this first end round goal. We're not going to go too crazy on it. So the real question is, do we go for viticulturist? I think we do, rather than historian. Alright, so let's just see. In this way, if they don't get the house wren, I will definitely draw into the house wren. But it looks like they've saved food, but that's pretty likely what they're going to do here. Hey EJ. Hey Scooby. Yeah, easy viticulturist. Yeah, I think so. EJ, do you play Wingspan? Do you know much Wingspan here? Where are you at with Wingspan? Looks like our opponent's pretty good, by the way. Let's see. They are 370, so their rating is about the same as ours. Yeah, they take the wren. No surprise there. But yeah, with viticulturist, we automatically qualify by pulling the wren here, which I think I'm going to do. It gets us to 2 in our forest if we do it right. It helps with the round 3 and 4 goals. We'll just hope that something good doesn't come up in the trade for our opponent, which it doesn't really. Prefer the wren over the finch? Yeah, I always have the dream of going full tuck though. If I can build out just my bottom row, I guess I don't have what I need to do that, but so they put grosbeak. But yeah, that's a good point. I think the wren does sort of have better synergy with what we're doing. So the real question is, I think what we can do is draw food, play the gull, lay eggs, and then do this double play. Right, I think that's better than... Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. So we're just going to take one of these foods here. It doesn't really matter which one. Right, draw food, play the gull. That'll take 2 food. Yep. So we can be pretty efficient with our actions here. Or at least I would say the double play makes up for the inefficiencies of drawing a card on our first turn and drawing a food on our second turn. Hater range. Don't love Wingspan, but it's good to see you. Good to see you too. Tell me what you don't like about Wingspan Deranged. I have a feeling I could guess. Okay, but we're gonna play the Gull. I don't know how I feel about our chances here against this opponent with their start, but we'll see. So we're gonna lay eggs and then we're gonna double play, and we'll probably see what we get for cards off of the Wren before we figure out what on earth we're doing next. Our opponent is draining the bird feeder here, so we'll get to take a look to see what's available next. What do we got? 4 actions left after this one? Yeah, no time for Terra Mystica here. I know we got a bit of a Terra Mystica crowd in the chat, but it's Wingspan today. EJ has played Wingspan twice, found it chill and enjoyable. That's a great description. Deranged says, in general, it kind of feels solitary. It's hard to track others' tableau. Yeah, I feel like 2-player helps with that, but that's a valid complaint. Alright, so our opponent is gathering a whole bunch of food. They've got a house wren. I'm guessing they're gathering the food for like a large, well, doesn't matter. We'll do our double play here. Then we can talk after that. But I think that they're gonna they have enough to play 2 birds in their wetlands here, if I had to guess. Or maybe like in one in their forests, one in their wetlands. Alright, we're gonna draw at least 1 from the deck here. I'm looking at possibly the catbird. Ooh, chipping sparrow. That's nice. So then, do we care for this catbird? It's pretty expensive to start with, even though it does have a berry on it for my viticulturist. This looks like we're building ourselves a very nice forest indeed. Bush tipped. And our opponent's got 1 card in their hand, and it's the house wren. So they've got us beat on this end of round goal. Now we've got some good cards and some good options. What are we gonna do with these? 3 actions left this round. We'd like to end with an egg in our wetland if we can, but we don't need to strain ourselves to do so. Stick nests for next round. We don't have any of those. Our opponent does. I mean, chipping sparrow in the forest is just really good. All the end of round goals say to build out your grassland, but I don't know. I think we can score pretty good on birds here. I'm gonna get some food, and I'm gonna get the food I need to play these 2 birds in hand, because I think they're pretty sweet. And I like that they both do things, because they got brown powers, and my forest currently is very white. Let's see. Scooby says, pretty easy to hit the max. There's a lot of good cherry birds. Talking about viticulturist. Always been confused by the name of that card. They're clearly cherries, not grapes. Oh, interesting. Grapes. Oh, yeah, right. I mean, cherry wine is a thing, I guess. I don't know. I think viticulturist is actually just reference to the other Stonemeyer game that's been very popular, or one of the other Stonemeyer games that's been very popular, which is viticulture. I think that's why they did it, probably, if I were to guess. Deranged says TM crowd's loyal. I should follow you here. Suppose so. Alright, well, we're just going to play Chipping Sparrow. Maybe I do want it in my middle row. I don't think so. Well, we are going to want to draw cards first action next round. Our opponent's just going real hard on this end of round goal. They're not even drawing cards to fill up their bush tit. That's surprising. But I think we are going to lay eggs here because it does get us a point, which isn't the worst thing. But more importantly, it sets us up to draw cards action 1 next round. Otherwise, what I would be doing is drawing food from the chipping sparrow. Or rather, doesn't matter. In order to play the Eastern Screech Owl, we need to have 2 eggs, so. And we get the mallard. I think we still want the mallard. I think it's early enough. But that's what we want. So best practice, we're going to draw off the deck first. That turkey also looks pretty nice, though. Hits viticulturist for us. Hits some big points. Off of some big food, which we have the ability to play. We're going to draw from the deck. Flycatcher is better than the owl, but I'm not going to have the food for it. Draw one more here. Junco. I think we don't care about the Junco. Ooh, tough decisions. Okay, so these are all decent birds. The flycatcher is a little bit slower, but it's going to help our economy out a lot more than this screech owl. Unfortunately, I already pulled the food for the screech owl. The Junco could have some good synergies with what we got going on because we are going to pull the mallard next, which would mean we'd have extra cards. Gosh, what do we do? Okay, I don't think the Junco's good enough to keep. But I don't think we're playing more than 4 birds in our forest. So I gotta decide between the screech owl and the flycatcher. I think we keep the flycatcher. This feels a little slow, but we're going to have a pretty powerful engine once we get it all set up. So, unfortunately, I think that our opponent will want that chickadee. Yep, there they go. That's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to gain food next. And then we'll get down either the mallard or the flycatcher. They do pull the turkey too. Maybe that's mostly just a block. Oh, they cancel it. I think they're gonna go with the chickadee, but not the turkey, if I had to guess. Yeah, I like Wingspan. It's very I mean I love Wingspan. It's no Terra Mystica. And I'm not just saying that because the people who are hanging out right now are Terra Mystica folks. But it's a nice length of game. And I really like it over the table. I've played a lot over the table of this game. Because you can play in a very mixed crowd of folks who are either taking it super seriously or just are like, this bird's fun, I'm going to play this bird. You can kind of, I feel like it works pretty well at that sort of table. The quail comes out. I think the turkey's going to stick around and we're going to look to pull that late this round. So we're going to gain food. Take the berry for the flycatcher. And then I think it's worth ditching the Junco here to get the food we need for these other 2 birds. But I feel like my sequencing needs to be a little tight here if I want to do pretty well. So I think we definitely want to grab a worm for the mallard. And I think once we get the mallard down, we'll be able to draw some kind of solid grasslands option where we don't care about the Junko. I'm gonna get rid of the Junko and grab, yeah, the food we need for the mallard. Only thing is, we do need another. We only have 2 eggs, and we need 3 eggs in order to get down the flycatcher and the mallard. That's okay. I think we go mallard first. Real bummer to just kind of have this rat for no reason. I'm sure if I go back and look at what I did, I could have avoided that. Okay, and our opponent has really respectable forest and a bush tit. I don't quite get what they've been doing here. They're sitting on 1 card and 3 food, and they don't have the food that they need to play the 1 card that we know is still in their hand. I think they still got the house finch. Drange says, do you enjoy the food system? That's a great question. I think the food system, along with the bonus cards, are the 2 aspects of this game that are the most luck-driven. Along with bird card draw. But like bird card draw is necessarily luck-driven, I think. There's not too many ways to design around something different than that. I think that the food system is pretty good. I love the graphic design on the artwork, but just like the bird feeder is pretty good, I'd say. I have played with teaching the game for the first time to people, and we've taken the bird feeder out entirely. We've just said, if you're not big on games with lots of rules, you get whatever food you want when you take this action, which has worked well in certain circumstances. Oh man, more juicy birds keep coming up in the tray. So this black tern looks nicer for our opponent than it does for us, and I'm wondering if I should be blocking it. The turkey looks great for us. The hummingbird can also be great. I think either way we're drawing cards in this turn, we're going to see 4 cards. The first one's coming from the deck. And Henka, I don't think we care much about that. And then, do we need to block any of those? I don't know. Let's draw 1 more from the deck. Also not much to... I think I'm going to block the turn and grab the turkey. Maybe I take hummingbird turkey. What did they just draw? They just drew some wetland, or some grassland forest birds. I think I'm going to grab the tern. And then tuck the cormorant, grab the turkey. Oh, and the grebe comes up anyways. That's basically the same as the turn, but better. That's too bad. Anyways, yeah, the food system, I like that there's 5 types of food. I think the graphic design and color choice is like kind of beautiful in a way. Base game is a little bit unbalanced. I think people agree in that building out your forest to focus on food is kind of generally pretty weak, depending on the situation. I'm kind of doing it here anyways, because I got some good cards for it. We'll see how it works out. But the bird feeder specifically, I think, is like totally fine. I don't have any major complaints with it. All right. Now the real question is, are we going to play this flycatcher before we do anything else? I think so. I think if we okay, let's gain food. I'm gonna grab this berry because we'll use it for the turkey. And if we get some fish, we do. So I think we're gonna play the Anhinga even if we shouldn't here. What do we do here? Flycatcher turkey is enough for viticulturists, but we really want to be headed in the direction of building out a grassland so we can actually lay some eggs here. But I see fish, so I'm going to grab fish because it's going to be worth a decent amount of points here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the Anhinga and then we're going to lay eggs on it. And I can kind of see why our opponent did this with the bush tit. So their kite goes down in the grasslands. I said we're going to do this, but we probably shouldn't actually do that, should we? I think we play the flycatcher. We miss out on this round goal, and that's okay. Yeah, we'll save the Anhinga for later if we need it. We can use those fish for something else. I think having a good forest built out is more important than getting these 2 points for the end round goal. What this does mean is that we do have to really focus on building out our grasslands to be able to get plenty of eggs for these last 2 round goals. Because our opponent could be able to challenge us for them. But we do know that they are short on cards. We got a lot of food for how many cards they got. I'm not really sure what they're doing there. And we know that we're maxing out our bonus card. Not sure what they've got going on in that regard. So we'll see how it comes together. This feels a little bit slow to me. There goes the house finch. So now they've got what they need to kind of... Oh, and they're putting in their grassland. I guess that makes sense. They're, it's a really ugly wetlands they've got going, though. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab more food here. I guess we probably draw cards here, huh? I think blocking the grebe makes sense. I think what they're going to do is they're going to lay eggs and try to pull the grebe. So if we draw cards, we'll block the grebe. The Dick Thistle might be good for us. Probably not. I'm going to draw cards. And then we'll know what food we want to get after that. Robin could be good. Blackbird could also be good. We know we're blocking this. And I think we hope for another grasslands option. That could be good. That could work. Okay. Alright, I don't hate how this is coming together. We've got an awesome forest. We just need to make sure we can get down enough stuff in our middle row to really be laying eggs pretty heavily by the end of next round. So we got 6 actions next round. Like gain food, play a couple cards, lay eggs a couple times. I think it'll be all right. We have gotten to see a lot of good birds here. Like in general, we're pretty flush, and like the tuck and draw helps with that. But we're pretty flush on useful cards throughout the game so far, so that's good. Opening hand was not wonderful, but it was fine. So now our opponent is still really just... They do not have a lot of card draw. But they are crushing us on points, so... And we've got Cowbird and a Bunting in the tray. This could be interesting for us. At this point, what am I thinking? Which of these birds is going to be most valuable? We might let the food dictate it for us. I'm hoping my opponent draws food here, because I think I could really use some... Yeah, there it goes. I could really use some seeds here. Okay. So we might be able to do like Robin Roadrunner. Play the Robin, play the Roadrunner. Be able to lay eggs a bunch of times. Or go Robin Roadrunner, maybe get the turkey down. So yeah, I think we're gonna gain food. Well, we know we can get what we need here. So now we're rolling in the dough. We got food like you wouldn't believe. So yeah, I think we play Robin Roadrunner, and then we are laying eggs for like 4 to 5 points a turn, and we make sure to Oriole. Okay. How many exhausts do we have? We're still beating them, right? Yeah, we got more exhausts than they do. So I think it's Robin first for this berry? No. For this worm. This is an interesting one because they are crushing us on points thus far. But I do feel like our game is really starting to come together here, and that these end of round goals look good for us. Maybe I should block the Bunting. Okay, so they draw Bunting, Cowbird, and they tuck one of them. We're getting down a 7-point bird here. I think it's this fish. I'm not sure we're ever playing that at Hinga after all. Oh, egret. Wow, I missed that. Oh, that would have been good. Ooh, that's too bad. Gotta pay attention to the tray. Not turkey. I guess turkey after, since you lay first. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna lay eggs and I can play the turkey after that if I want to. But that egret would have been pretty nice. This is a really interesting game my opponent's playing. I feel like they're using the bush tit in a way that I wouldn't have, but that in a way that's working very well for them. Okay, so we're laying eggs. Get a point off the Roadrunner, love that. And then I don't think we care much for this Blackbird. I think we care even less for the Anhinga. So... let's see what we get. That's beautiful. Love that. Seeing some big point birds. So now the turkey warbler looks pretty nice for our grasslands here. And how is our opponent doing on cavity nest space for the last round? They've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 6, 8. Okay, they're beating us. So we would like a cavity nest, wouldn't we? Well, there's a cavity nest. But is it worth it? Maybe we tuck and draw it to give ourselves the option. Well, we gotta lay eggs here no matter what, I think. No dice on that one. Maybe we do grab this. So let's think about our food situation. If we were to play all of these birds, Acorn Woodpecker would just be played to swing this last round goal, which could be good points. It'd be worth 3 points when we play it. We would be drawing food one more time, and we would need to pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we'd have enough for it. I'm gonna draw off the top of the deck and see what we get. Yeah, that bush shit's helping them out with the star nest. No mistake about that. Scoomy says no way that cavity nest is worth it. Gotta hunt for a high point one, at least somewhere other than forest. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I was tempted by it. I'm looking at the scores and I'm like kind of scared all of a sudden. But we're gonna have a pretty good engine built out in a way that they really don't. They seem to be playing like efficiently. I don't know. Okay, we got 6 eggs. They've got 3. We do have to lay eggs one more time here to make sure we win this end around goal, and it's still decent points for us. So let's do it. Let's fill out our forest. See what we get. Yellowthroat, not what we're looking for. But we win the end around. Scores are much closer. And we feel pretty confident about our bonus card at least. I think that's what we do now. I think I'm going to play the wild turkey. I think we play the turkey. And then we'll probably lay eggs one more time to see what we get for a card. So they pull another bonus card. Yeah, I think they may have us here. I think this might not work out after all. Game was just a little bit too slow, I think. Because now what we're gonna have to do is gain the food to play the warbler. Because we're just like 1 food off of getting this warbler now. So if we just laid eggs for the rest of the game, I don't think that's going to be enough. And I don't think it's leveraging our strengths, really. Alright, I'm going to lay eggs. I don't think we need this berry. 1, 2... I don't know if it's worth hanging on to the food. We're just gonna lay eggs with all that. And then we'll see what we get here. We get lucky. And then yellow throat, we'll pour from the top of the deck and hope for something good. Bobo Link. Not gonna be what we're looking for. So I think we gain food, play the Warbler, lay eggs, and call it a day. Right? Because gaining food and pulling the Warbler nets us. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. Gaining food and playing the Warbler gets us 7 points. Laying eggs twice gets us 3, 4, at least 8. So we're just laying eggs. We're just laying eggs and hoping that we have what it takes. I don't think we do, though. I think they beat us no matter what here. We'll see. We can still tuck the Bobolink. Maybe we get a really high point bird that's worth it somehow. But I don't think so. I think we're just laying eggs. So I'm guessing we come up short here. We've got a really good bonus card, but they're going to win the end around goal, and they're getting 6 points per lay here with more actions left than us. So I think that it is probably over for us. Unfortunately. So what did our opponent do that we didn't do? I mean, we built out a crazy forest, and then we didn't leverage it very well. We didn't get enough bird points off of this forest for it to have been worth it. And we did so in a setup where all the goals were egg-based. Our opponent winning this end of round goal with these cavity nests is a huge swing for us. I think if we had managed to beat them on that, we probably could have won the game. As long as we didn't have to bend our game too badly around it. But we at least get one of those. And yeah, I think maybe our play was a little bit inefficient. We got crushed a little too hard in the end around goals, and this forest wasn't powerful enough to overcome some of the other issues that we had. Just like wasn't a good enough forest where it was worth focusing on when all the goals were egg-based. But it's possible that our opponent totally whiffed on their bonus cards, that we beat them, but I think more likely we're going to be losing by about 4 or 5 points here. Definitely curious if anybody has thoughts on what could have gone better here. Like I said, I think my strategy was a little bit off. And I think I let myself get distracted in a couple of cases. We were just a little bit inefficient on the food. Could have played the Warbler without having to pull food. That would have been a pretty big difference here. We would have been like up quite a bit over where we ended because we had the wrong food at the end game. But we'll see what they did for bonus cards. 0 and 4. So I think that's enough. I think they still beat us. $85. I don't remember exactly where we were at before the bonus card. 83. Tough one. That's a tough loss. But they played well. And we made some mistakes. Alright. So let's take one more look here. So yeah, if we'd been a little bit more efficient with food and hadn't tried to force the Anhinga when it was already the wrong moment, and if we had managed to focus earlier on the last end of round goal here, and noticed that they were ahead of us on cavity nest spaces, it's possible there was a good cavity nest bird that came up earlier that I had ignored. I think this would have gone better for us. I think our opponent also did a really good job blocking some good cards from the tray and using the bush to make that happen. I'm impressed they managed to get to build out so many cards when they had such poor card draw, but I guess the bush tit was good enough on its own. So, anyways, that'll do it for today. Thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you next time.